At the beginning of Parshas Vayera, the Torah describes a visit that Avraham Avinu had from Hashem Yisbarach. And Rashi comments, Vayera Elov Levaker es hachole. The Torah then, subsequently, after the visit of Hashem Yisbarach and the Malachim, then the Torah begins to present the story of Sodom. Vayakum Rishon ha'anoshim vayashkifu al pnei Sodom, the Malachim, after the visitation, where Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imenu were told they're going to be zocher to a child, then they came to perform the second mission. The Avram holech imam l'shalcham. Vashem Amar, the Almighty said, Hamachas ani mi Avram asher ani oseh? Can I conceal from Avraham Avinu that which I'm about to do? The Torah goes on to tell us, the Avram hoyo yiyeh l'goy gadol v'yatzum v'nivruchu bo kol goy ha'aretz. And then an absolutely gorgeous pasuk. The Almighty loves Avraham Avinu. Ki yedativ leman asher yitzaveh es banav es beiso acharov v'shomu derech Hashem lasot tzedakah u'mishpat. Leman havi Hashem al Avraham es asher diber alav. Avraham Avinu, of course, is the epitome of tzedakah u'mishpat. And Hashem is about to destroy the city of Sodom, which is the antithesis of tzedakah u'mishpat. So certainly that cannot be concealed from Avraham Avinu. But what is the connection? Ostensibly, that is the nexus between that description of Avraham Avinu, who epitomizes tzedakah u'mishpat, and what Hashem is about to do. However, I once heard from Hagoyin Harav Nevin Sol Shlita the following explanation to connect what the Torah says, "Vayakum misham ha'anoshim v'yashkifu al pnei Sodom," and Hashem indicated, I cannot conceal from Avraham Avinu that which I'm about to do, and this pasuk of Ki Yedativ that I just cited. He suggested that, in effect, there is tochacha being given to Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu is the recipient of chastisement on the part of Hashem. How is that possible? The smach is from a famous Gemara in the Dorim. The Gemara comments that after the Milchemes HaMelachim that the Torah describes in last week's Parsha of Lech Lecha, the Melech Sodom approaches Avraham Avinu and makes the following request. Vayomer Melech Sodom al Avraham, this is in Perek Yudaleh Pasuk Chav Aleph, Ten li hanefesh v'rechush kach loch. You give me the nefashos and you can take the booty for yourself. What should Avraham have done? Chazal say Avraham Avinu should have turned down this request on the part of Melech Sodom. What should he have done? He should have held on to Anshe Sodom, and he should have been Mekari of them. He should have brought them to Azkanfi Ashchina. Instead, what does he do? He returns the Anshe Sodom, lets them go back to Melech Sodom. As a result, their spiritual situation underwent a terrible denouement, a terrible diminution, till the Almighty Ribbon Shalom was compelled to destroy them. Of course, the Kavanah of Avraham Avinu was the Shem Shamayim, unquestionably. He wanted to be Mekadosh Shem Shamayim. He didn't want to take from Melech Sodom, as he says himself. Im nichut v'yatzroch nal, v'imekach v'kol asher loch, v'lo somar ani ha'asharti es Avraham. That was his intention. His intention was completely l'shem shamayim, and yet, together with that ratzon l'kan Shem Shamayim, he should have carefully considered what will happen with these people. Instead of learning in the yeshiva of Avraham Avinu, they'll learn in the yeshiva of Melech Sodom. And therefore, he should not have been Mekadosh Shem Shamayim on the spiritual cheshbon of these nefashos. Of course, this is clearly only for someone at the level of Avraham Avinu, someone who achieved his spiritual level, his spiritual heights. Such individuals, of course, HaKadosh Baruch Hu medaktik im hatzadikim kichut asara. But in general, this is the yesod that we have to be cognizant of. And certainly, all of us, from time to time, have great opportunities to be Mekar V'Achenu B'nei Yisrael. And even though one might argue that perhaps it will involve a surrender, a sacrifice on our part, but being Mekarev, Levav Sh'Achenu B'nei Yisrael is no small matter. We encountered today in our Gemara Shir the following conflicting desiderata, and we resolved it based on a famous Chassam Sofer. The Gemara has in Bava Metzia and Daf Samach Beis a Machlokes ben Petura and Rabbi Akiva, well-known scenario. Two individuals in a desert. One of them has water, the other one doesn't. What should happen? Ben Petura contends they should share the water. Let not one see the death of the other. Rabbi Akiva, whom we passing like, says otherwise. If it's your life or the life of your friend, your life takes precedence. So many ask the question, if that's the case, we find with reference to Avraham Avinu as well, that Avraham Avinu, in the context of his involvement with Lot, was willing to be mevater, was willing to essentially sacrifice Gilu Shechina. As long as he was with Lot, there was no Gilu Shechina. The Torah describes in last week's Parsha of Lech Lecha, Vashem Amar al Avraham acharei hiparei Lot mi'imo. So Avraham Avinu was mevater on Gilu Shechina. And here also in this week's Parsha, as we just began to describe a moment ago, even though he would have been with Sdom, the Tzav HaShor was to be Mekar the people of Sdom. So at his level, at his high spiritual level, there was a taina against Avraham Avinu. So the question that's asked, if Avraham Avinu was willing to be mevater on Gilu Shechina, Hashras HaShechina, by being in the presence of Lot, how does that square? How is that in consonance, in sync, in tandem with the Gemara Bava Metzia? So the Chassam Sofer in a beautiful answer tells us the Gemara Bava Metzia is talking about Gashmias, material matters. When it comes to Ruchnius, spirituality, if a person has achieved a fundamental spiritual level and is able to be Mekar of others, whether it's to learn with others, whether it's to do chesed with others in the Ruchniistic realm, whether it's to be Mekar of others by inviting them to a Shabbos table and by showing them through Zmiros of Shabbos and Divrei Torah the beauty of Shabbos, by helping others put on tefillin, by helping others do mitzvahs in general. So there the halacha is, we don't apply Rabbi Akiva's dikta Mechayecha Kodmin. There we say on the contrary, that we have to be concerned about our fellow man. So here the Torah in this week's Parsha has a taina, which even though Rav Dessel Zatzal and the Slabodke, Saba of Slabodke, Rav Nosson Tzvi Finkel, indicated that it's Dakam and Adaka. We're talking about great people. Ubechol Zos, Avraham Avinu had a chance to Mekar Anshe Sdom, and Avraham Avinu felt that it was not appropriate. Ubechol Zos, we should always take that message to heart. Whenever we have an opportunity to Mekar V'Achenu B'nei Yisrael, to learn with someone, even though they're not as strong as we are, in terms of learning, to be Mekar someone, to talk to someone, to be Mechazik someone who needs chizuk in their lives, that is the Tzav HaShor. Halavai, we should be zoche to go and strengthen Achenu B'nei Yisrael, as the Navi says, Ish esvei'eu daberu u'la'ochiv yoyma chazok. The obligation to give chizuk. Halavai, we should learn that Avraham Avinu should be our mentor, and even though Ribono Shalom has a taina on him, that's of course at the highest of levels, Avraham Avinu, with his great ruchnius, b'cholzos, all of us at our own level, each one, kolach levi madrigoso, should learn to be mechazik each other to the extent that we can.